Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold, and today I'm going to be continuing my discussion on Card Advantage Theory and how to use it to improve your decks. Hopefully I tried my best. In the last video I tried to explain what Card Advantage is and how you can evaluate cards based on their costs and what they gain you in the long run. What we're going to do now is we're going to try and improve the basic deck which I made for a couple of videos past. Basic removal deck that I made here isn't amazing, but it's, as I said, basic. I'm going to try and improve it to add more cards which give us better card advantage. So first of all, we need to identify the faults in a deck like this. We're going to try and get rid of the cards which don't add us any advantage to our deck. So some of the cards which we have issues with here are Swords of Revealing Light. It's a good card. It stalls your opponent from attacking, it stops them from attacking for a while, and it can be useful if it means you can gain some resources in the long run, but directly it doesn't actually give you any kind of advantage. In fact, it leaves you at a negative advantage, because once you use the card, eventually you're just going to lose it and you haven't gained anything over your opponent, or you haven't gained any additional resources. That's not to say this card's not completely useful, but we're focusing on card advantage here, so we're going to get rid of that. We're also going to get rid of these normal monsters for now. Now, normal monsters can be useful, they can be absolutely fine, but we want to focus on ones that give us some type of advantage. We're also going to get rid of these tribute monsters. Tribute monsters are useful, they're good beat sticks, it's just an old phrase, just like a strong monster to attack an opponent with. But really in this day and age, there are easier ways of summoning monsters that are this strong. Particularly using your extra deck. So we're not going to actually use these tribute monsters either. Plus, when you use a tribute monster, to normal summon a tribute monster, you have to lose one card to get it on the field. So they actually cost you cards in the long run. So we're going to get rid of that one. Where's Elector? And I thought I had a third. Yes, Gravity Crush Dragon. We're going to get rid of him too. We're also going to get rid of Gale Lizard. Gale Lizard allows you... It does get rid of a monster from the field, but your opponent still gets to keep that monster. So you don't really gain anything from its effect. It might be useful if, say, you're getting rid of a fusion monster or a synchro monster or an XE monster, because it goes to the extra deck and they can't use it straight away. But it's a situational effect. It can be useful, but right now we're just focusing on what gets us advantage. Same with Copycat. Copycat's got a very useful effect, but it doesn't give us any direct card advantage, so we're going to get rid of him too. Let's see. Now you may be wondering, why am I keeping Marauding Captain and Goblin de Burg, or whatever, however it's said. Well, their effects are quite useful, because as well as card advantage, you also want to build field presence. Field presence is really just how many cards you have on the field, and in order to win a game, you need to have a good number of monsters on the field. You don't need it completely full, but having monsters on the field is useful, so we're going to keep them there. Also going to take out Exploder Dragon. Exploder Dragon's got a very useful effect. It's a good 1-for-1 monster effect, but we're not going to need him for now. Slate Warrior, we're going to keep him because he's got a very, very strong attack, which means even though his effect doesn't give you any card advantage, by having a strong attack, he can destroy your opponent's monster, which means they will lose a card, and that way you will gain advantage. So we're going to keep these, and we're going to keep Shard of Greed. I'm going to keep enemy. I'm going to get rid of enemy controller, but it is a very useful card. It's a very quick card to use, but we're going to get rid of it at the time being. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look in our deck. Our trunk, sorry. Now first of all, you wouldn't have, before you can improve your deck, you need to get new cards. And in order to get new cards, you need to be playing through the campaign mode. As you play through the campaign mode, you can get your opponent's signature cards, which can be quite useful. Some of them are actually quite good to get, so it's worth making the effort to actually play through the campaign. And then you can also get duel points, and the duel points can be spent in the card shop, and at the card shop you can buy packs. I've actually never bought any packs from this store yet. I don't know how useful they are. I haven't unlocked the GX one, so I'm going to buy my first one right here. Let's buy one from Yugioh. Let's see what it says. 8 cards, okay. Nothing that really stands out to me. Really not standing out to me there. Sorry, Yugioh. Could have been better, mate. But fine, whatever. So, once you've got some extra cards, you can now improve your deck. So we're going to try to improve our deck in several ways. First of all, we're going to look at some monsters. which monsters are really useful for giving us card advantage? Well, first of all, let's go to, if I can get level just right now. No, I want card frame. Let's do card frame. Card frame, and I want to put effect monsters on. Okay, so let's see. Let's have a look at which cards can be useful at giving us card advantage. Armor B. I really like Armor B. Armor B's effect is very useful, even though it doesn't give us any direct card advantage. By halving their attack, you can pretty much destroy any monster that's has 31,000 attack or less. Any monster with 31,000 attack or less can be destroyed by Armor B, assuming nothing else happens in the game. So it makes it really strong. It's kind of like Slate Warrior in that it can get over most of the monsters by destroying them, and by doing so you can gain card advantage. So we're going to put him in the deck. Let's see what else we have here. This card's good, but it's a tribute monster, so I'm going to leave him out. I'm going to focus on just low level monsters for the time being. Defender is good for card advantage in kind of an opposite way, in that it takes 2 of your opponent's cards to destroy it rather than 1, but we're not going to focus on that one just yet. Let's have a look. I did have some cards in mind. Hyena can be useful. Hyena can be useful because when 1 is destroyed, it can get up to 2 from your deck, or at least another 1. So let's put Hyena in. Plus it builds field presence, so it's really useful. Man-Eater Bug. We've got 1 Man-Eater Bug. We could use another Man-Eater Bug. Another thing with Man-Eater Bug, it is just a 1-for-1 effect. It's useful. It's useful to destroy another monster on the field, but it's not like he's going to be attacking anyone after it. So he's kind of weak, but he's kind of useful. He's kind of here, neither here nor there really. We'll put him in case we don't have anything else, but I'm probably going to take him out later on. Magician of Faith. I can't believe they unbanned this card. A Magician of Faith used to be such a great card. The thing with Magician of Faith is you're going to lose 1 card by putting her on the field because she's really weak, but her effect will get you any 1 spell card from your graveyard. Any 1 spell card that's in your graveyard you can put back to your hand. Really useful. Say if you use Magician of Faith and then get back Dark Hold or Shard of Greed or really any other great spell cards you have. Definitely useful. Definitely want to keep her. Sacred Crane. Sacred Crane is a really useful card if you can special summon it, and there are loads of ways to special summon it in this deck, so I am going to put her in because when you do special summon her, she gives you a free card. Is there anything else? Anything else which is really useful? I feel like I'm drawing a blank now. Any other monsters? How many monsters we got? 17. Really, actually, to be honest, we don't need too many more monsters. I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with this. We don't... I mean, there are other cards which we can swap out for. We can use different cards here or there, but there isn't really anything that stands out to me as being drastically better or worse than the ones which we have in our deck, or able to give us any extra advantage. I mean, Time Wizard could, but I mean, he's a random effect. He could backfire in your face, so we're not going to use him. Right, so let's look at spells and traps. Frame, spell cards. Mystical Space Typhoon. Mystical Space Typhoon is just a 1-for-1 card, but it's one of the most versatile and quickest 1-for-1 cards in the game. Unlike Twister, which can only cost you 500 life points, and it can only destroy face-up cards, Mystical Space Typhoon can destroy any card, any spell or trap card on the field. It's really useful. It's like just Dust Tornado, but better because you don't have to sit it on the field. So we are going to put one of those in. Pot of Duality, a very useful card to have. Pot of Duality, what it does is it lets you excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 of them to your hand, also after that shuffle the rest back into your deck. You can only activate 1 Pot of Duality per turn. You cannot special summon during the turn you activate this card. So essentially you get to look at the top 3 cards in your deck, you get to choose one, you're going to lose Pot of Duality, but you gain any 1 of 3 cards from the top of your deck. It can be very useful in the long run. So a very good card to use. Let me think. Reinforcement of the army. I don't think we have many warriors on our deck anymore, although it would be good to search out Goblin the Merc or Marauding Captain, but only 2-3 monsters is a little bit too low, so I'm not going to use that card. Let me see. I don't really see anything else. Notice how I'm avoiding the equip cards and field spell cards for the time being. Field spell cards can be very useful. However, these basic ones, such as increasing your attack by 500, it's mildly useful. Right, so let's look at some trap cards. Okay. Trap cards. Torrential Tribute, a very, very good card. It's basically Dark Hole, but a trap version. Very useful card, very good for card advantage, especially if you're not destroying any of your other monsters. Another Mirror Force, why not? Regiki Break. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. In terms of card advantage, Regiki Break is a versatile card, but it's not very good for card advantage because it costs you 2 cards, your opponent loses 1 card, so we're not going to use that. Let me think. Dark Bribe can be a useful card. It doesn't gain you any advantage, in fact you lose from it, but you get to actually negate any spell or trap card, so it can be useful, but we're not going to use it for today. Let me think. What else do I have? Right. At this point, I don't see any more cards which can be really good at gaining us some card advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the spells, and I'm going to add in some cards which can be useful, which are just versatile cards. So I'm going to put in Enemy Controller again. I'm going to put back in Allure of Darkness. Could be useful if we have more dark monsters, but we don't have many dark monsters in our deck. Let me see. Not sure really. I'm really not sure. Let's put in. See, the thing is with this game, you can't really. You're limited by the options, by what cards you have. I don't really have many cards just yet because I haven't played the game really enough. I'm gonna put Fiendish Chain in. Fiendish Chain is a really useful card. It negates opponent's effects, so it can be very useful to use. What else could I add? I need one more card to round this up. I've really got a lot of traps. I really would like to not add any more traps into this deck. Let me think about spell cards. Any spell cards that are really useful? I don't think so. I guess I'll put in Reinforcement of the Army just because it's useful, but there may be a small chance we might not get the effect off. But let's just try it anyway. Okay, so we've got our basic deck here, and there is one way which we can improve it, and that's by adding an extra deck. So I'm going to stop the video here. We've improved the basic removal deck from before, definitely looking a lot better than what it was, but what we're going to do next is try to improve it by using the extra deck and taking advantage of that. So hopefully this has been useful to you guys somehow. It isn't really my preferred way of teaching people how to play this game, but I'm just trying to do my best here. So thank you for watching if you got this far. Much love, take care, and goodbye.